Hello Internet, welcome back to more Pokemon Sun and Moon. In the last episode, we finished the grand trial here on Melemele Island, meaning we have now finished every trial and have clearance to go to the second island. However, that's not what we're doing this episode. This time, we're going to be going around Melemele Island and seeing what we can do now that we have the ability to smash rocks with Tauros. Oh, it's so nice to finally have Tauros, because that means I can just smash as many rocks as I want. I tried to time that so I could, say it as the rocks were breaking, but it's too late. There is yet another area of Route 1 with new Pokemon to catch. Because different Pokemon appear in the tall grass here, so here's that. While I'm actually looking for the first Pokemon, now would be a good time to go over what I'm going to do about SOS encounters. Unless I get a particularly cool one to happen, I am not going to be going SOS encounters that are just evolutions unless I want them to be on my final team. So, say in the case of Butterfree, being something Caterpie can call in the meadow. I won't go over Butterfree there because we have a Metapod and it's going to evolve anyway. So I will go over it when Metapod evolves. So, unless it's a really cool one that I happen to find, I won't be going over them. Unless it's, exclusive to SOS encounters. Bonsly! Bonsly, despite what it looks like, is a rock type, even though it's the bonsai Pokemon, and bonsai is like a tree. Yeah, that doesn't make much sense, but it will when it evolves, trust me. For now, Bonsly is not great. However, it evolves as soon as it levels up after learning a certain move, that move being Mimic. So, if you have a way of teaching this thing Mimic early, say you trade it to a completed copy of the game that has access to a move tutor, which are not a thing in this game, but there are move tutors in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and those are compatible with Sun and Moon for trading. So you can trade a Bonsly to Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon and have a move tutor teach it Mimic, and yeah, easy way to evolve it. However, that kind of relies on you having either a friend who's willing to help you with that, or 2 3DSs, and not everybody has access to that, so yeah, it'll be a little bit before it learns Mimic, but when it evolves, it's actually a pretty decent rock type. Munchlax. This is one of very few baby Pokemon that is good without evolving. Its stats might say otherwise, but trust me, it does get better at being an unevolved good Pokemon later. It's completely dependent on a held item that we aren't going to be getting for a little while, but Munchlax can be good without evolving. It evolves through friendship either way, so it's not a big deal. And when it evolves, it becomes an absolute monster. If you want its evolution, it can call its evolution for help, as can Bonsly. So if you want to just grind it out and try to get its evolution to appear once you encounter one of these, go for it. Its evolution is a better Pokemon, I'm just saying Munchlax can also work on its own. However, Munchlax can be found holding the leftovers. This is an incredible item, and it makes it worth catching a Munchlax no matter what, obviously weakening it to make sure it's holding leftovers. This restores, I believe, 1/16 of a Pokemon's total HP every turn. That's really good. Oh my god. There is another Pokemon that can appear on Route 1 through SOS battles only, besides the evolutions of Bonsly and Munchlax. And I would love to say I'm gonna get it now, but I just went through a really long SOS battle that went on for too long. I killed probably 20 Bonsly, and not a single one showed up. So we're just gonna be waiting on it a little bit. I might catch it off screen even, and just, you know what, yeah, I'll do that. I'll catch it off screen and I'll just talk about it here. Happiny. Happiny is not great. Its evolutions are. However, as it's, on its own, Happiny is kind of garbage. It's a normal type, which, that's fine. but then its defensive stats are awful other than its HP. So if it gets hit by anything too strong, it's fainting, regardless of its HP. Brick Break will destroy it. One hit, no matter what. At this point in the game, you already have access to Brick Break. So, I mean, it wouldn't be too weird to see NPCs that can use Brick Break as well. Happini's not great, its evolutions are, but we aren't going to be able to get its evolutions for a good long time from now. Okay, anyway. I just picked up a nugget above that cliff that has no practical use and can only be used to sell things in shops. There are rocks to break down on that beach, but that's going to be the last thing we do. And you know what? Let's go to the Howley City Pokemon Center because we actually have to do something there. I forgot about that. Hop is here in Howley City. Hey, Winter! I just told my mom that I'm going to Akala Island next. Then she slapped me on the back so hard I'm still feeling it and sent me on my way. Do you think the boat's ready? It's the professor's own boat, right? Let's go to the marina and check it out. Nah. I have more important things to do, Hop. How? Oh my god, I did it again. I keep calling How Hop because, I mean, they're similar characters. They aren't the same, but they are very similar. It's easy to confuse them. You've caught that Drifloon? Well then, show me your Pokédex. Oh. Oh no, this won't work. It's cute, sure, but it's a ghost or something. They say that it takes children off with it. I'm not interested in children, no thanks. Well, this didn't really work out the way I had hoped, but a promise is a promise. So here's your pay for the work you did. 10,000 Pokédollars for some reason. It's not that hard to do. If I don't figure out how to be adorable soon, I'll just have to learn how to dodder instead. True? Alright. I'm gonna heal up, because those Bonsly actually, like, obliterated my team. Our next stop is Route 2, where you have these rocks. And we can pick up a star piece. Just like a nugget, no practical use, but can be sold for a very high price at a shop. If you head all the way back to the Totem Pokemon's den, you have these rocks leading upwards. Here you can get TM46 Thief. This is a 60 power, or 40 power maybe, Dark-type move that steals a held item from an opponent Pokemon. Against wild Pokemon, this is actually really good because you get to keep held items, which means you don't have to catch a Pokemon to take its held item. This would have been nice before catching Munchlax. Although I was going to catch Munchlax anyway, I guess. On Route 3, we can now break these rocks to get ourselves TM83 Infestation. This is a 20 power bug-type move that deals damage to the opponent every turn, for a few turns until it wears off. So, it's actually not great. It's one of the worst, like, Fire Spin-esque moves in the game, but, I mean, it sure exists. Last but not least, you head to the Howley outskirts after getting Tauros. Run right through this grass and you can break these rocks. 10 Carat Hill. We were told to come here to get a rock ruff.
You're a strong trainer, alright. Go on, you take on 10 Carat Hill, friend. Even stronger Pokemon await you within. Wah.
Welcome to 10 Carat Hill. This place has such good music that, like, you'd never hear because it's like a really short dungeon. So I'm just gonna sit here and let you listen to it for a second. fucking kidding me? I tried to leave for a single second, and Wild Zubat appeared. Oh my god, that is classic Pokemon. Okay. The reason I wanted to leave is so I can get on Tauros out here and go back in, because that way we won't interrupt the music. As you can see, you can just break through these rocks and bulldoze right through the cave. However, there are two new encounters here, starting with Roggenrola. Roggenrola is... I mean, it's a Gen 5 Pokemon, so obviously it's meant to be reminiscent of a Pokemon from Generation 1. This one being Geodude. However, Roggenrola is actually slightly better, in my opinion, I think. I haven't used Roggenrola since Black and White first came out, I'm gonna be completely honest. However, its abilities, well, its ability is good. Sturdy is a great ability. On top of that, it evolves relatively soon, and if you have a second 3DS or a friend to trade with, you can get it to its final evolution at level 25, which will be on the second island. I could definitely recommend Roggenrola. It's one of the better rock types in the game. It also gets decent variety in the moves it can learn, surprisingly. Carbink. Carbink is basically the definition of a pure wall. Its typing does it a surprising amount of favors. Although Steel is now 4 times super effective on it, and Poison is now neutrally effective on it, really the Fairy type only grants it more weaknesses. However, it has 150 in both of its defensive stats, meaning this thing is not going to be taking a lot of damage from anything. The trade-off is that it really can't do damage to anything either, though, so for setting things up like Stealth Rock, Carbink is very good. For attacking, Carbink is really bad and not something I would actually really recommend for a single-player team. And by calling for help, Sableye can appear from a Carbink. Sableye has the incredibly unique typing of Dark and Ghost, a type that is only given to one other Pokemon and a type that only has one weakness, formerly Zero. Its only weakness is the Fairy type, which is not a super common type in terms of attacking moves, so it basically still has 0 weaknesses unless you're using a Fairy type move against it. Which is unlikely. Most Pokemon don't get Fairy type moves, and the ones that do generally don't get very good ones unless they're a Fairy type. So, yeah, I can recommend Sableye based off that alone. It's better in the post-game, for reasons we'll be going over then. And its move pool is pretty limited. It's going to be a very defensive-based Pokemon through the entirety of its life, just because the attacking moves it gets aren't very good, its attacking stats aren't very good, and honestly, its defensive stats aren't great either. It's a single-player playthrough, though. You'll be able to use it just fine with any team composition. It does not matter. Why am I not trying to weaken this? Okay, now that I finally caught everything in here, it took a while because I had to find 2 Carbinks, and Carbink just refused to appear for some reason. Despite having the same encounter rate as Alolan Diglett in here, which was annoying. I don't have any repels. Oh, no. Pokemon seem to appear more often in caves than they do in tall grass, which is factually not a thing in this game. It does not happen. It just feels like it does because caves are generally worse places to be. They're less interesting visually. You can find an Ultra Ball over here, which is really good. Especially since we only had 10 of those and I used all of them. That Ultra Ball will actually come in handy later. I'm so excited to actually have repels eventually. That will be nice. You do have to have adequate space to call a ride Pokemon. What we're saying that is just a wild Pokemon. Alright, we have this big stone here. Tauros can't smash this. We will be coming back later when we have something to deal with that rock. Out here in the farthest hollow, we head all the way, well, first over here, you can find a hard stone. This increases the power of rock-type moves by 20%. If you head all the way out here, find a nugget, which again can be sold for a high price at a shop. Over here, there's a burn heal. This heals a Pokemon from burn. mean, yeah, that makes sense. And... is it over here or over here? I don't remember. There's one more item here. Well... through the tall grass, you can get a Great Ball. Now for encounters. Spinda! Spinda's not very good. That's... I mean, there is something very unique about Spinda. Spinda has millions of different combinations for all the different places where its spots can be placed on its head. It's randomly placed each time, and I think that's really cool. But also... it's not very good. I like the fact that all of its stats are 60 because, I mean, it's 360 and it's really, like, clever because it, like, spins around in circles and has, like, the squiggly eyes. It's, like, 360 degrees. It's the circumference of a circle. I've gone over this before. It's not a good Pokemon, but it has a cool reasoning behind its stats and it has a cool mechanic. Rockruff. Rockruff is a very good Pokemon, good enough that it was actually planned to be on my final team until literally like 2 hours ago, when I decided on what my actual third team member would be through a poll. Rockruff is really good. Its stats might not seem the best right now, and its abilities aren't anything phenomenal, but when it evolves, which is not that far from now, it can go really fast and deal a lot of damage. However, it actually has two different potential evolutions. It can evolve into a midday form or a midnight form, depending on the game you're playing and the time of day. Don't worry if you want the other form of its evolution, you can catch it later on in the game, no matter what game you're playing, so it's not really a version exclusive thing. The only version exclusivity Rockruff has is what it can evolve into, not whether you can get its other evolution. If you head along this path to the west of all the tall grass, and all the way along this path, you can find TM62 Acrobatics, a physical flying type move with 60 power. However, its power is doubled if the user is not holding an item. This is going to be used for something later on in this playthrough because it's such a good move. I really love Acrobatics, and in the end of the game, we are going to have 3 flying types on our team, so you bet at least one of them is going to have Acrobatics. Other than that, though, that's all we can do at 10 Carat Hill for the moment, so I'll see you on Route 3 when we go talk to that guy who wanted a Rockruff. Well, who wanted to see its Pokedex entry. Finally talking to this guy in Route 3. Oh, you've caught a Rockruff. Let me see your dex for a second. I see, so Rockruff hit the rocks around their necks against each other in a sort of greeting. Wow, so they're not just cute, they're pretty interesting Pokemon too. That's interesting. Alright, thanks for this, pal. Now I'll go and try and catch one for myself. Here, it's not much, but here's your pay. You've earned it. 30 bucks. Alright, now it's time that I set out to find a Rockruff of my own for my beautiful bride. Good for you, man. Now if we head over here and talk to this guy... So you've defeated all the trainers along Route 3, have you? You've shaken me from my calm repose. My heart was a still water, but no longer. Shall we start? Let's have a soul-shaking battle. Okay. That's a good reply. I will stand before you as a red card user. So you're like part of Target's reward membership? Okay, Makana. This isn't a boss trainer, but I do want to show the battle just because, as he said, he uses the red card item, and there's nothing to explain what that is except for me and the item's description, but we don't have the item, so I'll explain it if this Rockruff doesn't go down in one hit to Razor Leaf, which it absolutely will because I'm level 20. Yep, there was not even a chance. Alright, Icarus grew to level 21. It's growing really fast. Torracat grew to level 21. What? Grew to level 14. And Slowpoke. Okay. Maybe I just won't use Razor Leaf here and knock it out in one hit so I can show what the item actually does. Let's go with Peck. Yeah, that didn't knock out. We'll activate the red card, which forces Icarus to be switched out. That is how the red card works, and it apparently chooses a random Pokemon. I thought it allowed you to change, or to choose what Pokemon gets sent out, but no, the game just decides for you. I actually wanted to switch out to Pancake, but okay. The red card is a disposable item, so as soon as it's used in battle, it cannot be used again. So I only recommend using it in multiplayer, since it won't be destroyed in multiplayer, although you can still only use it once in that battle. Maybe Pancake wasn't the best idea since Slowpoke is a special tank. It was a fine battle. My heart feels as light and clear as the blue sky that appears after a storm passes through. This is proof of the battle between your team and my own. A red card. Take it, my strong friend. We're not friends, Ace Trainer Makana. The effects of the red card are as I illustrated to you in battle. You will likely find other trainers like me on the routes of Alola, searching for strength. Challenging them together with your Pokemon would not be a bad reason to take a journey. Yeah, it would. That's a pretty bad reason. And relative, like, compared to other reasons. Would you believe me if I told you the episode wasn't over yet? I want to get our third team member. Our third team member can only appear through an SOS battle with a Pokemon that only has a 1% chance to appear. What you are about to see has been streamed to my second channel, Winter VA, where we add the third member to our team. Afterwards, you will get a pre-recorded outro. Oh boy.
I had an account on there. And
oh my fucking god! I just encountered a second shiny Spearow!
I called it!
I called first.
I am furious!
Stupid and tired. You should have caught it.
I'm going to.
You did. Wait, you're still in the battle with it?
Yes!
Oh, yeah, your stream's like 10 seconds off. Yeah, at least you got something.
I feel like I'm about to cry.
Yeah.
And here I am with... Okay, can I tell you the funny story of how I got my first shiny?
Yeah, I think last time I talked to you, about shinies, you hadn't caught any, so I would be interested in hearing.
Okay, because you want to know where I got my first shiny?
Yeah.
Pokemon Masters.
Hatsune Miku Airport raised as possible new name for small Sapporo Airport. Oh, Bagon. It appeared as soon as I saw this tweet. For those of you watching in the future, I've been searching for what I want on my final team for probably a grand total of about 5 hours now. And I only just now encountered my second Bagon after accidentally running away from the first one. I could have had this done last night. But now I'm going to be here for a few hours without battle animations, just looking for something that has another just 1% chance of appearing. Well, 22 for Icarus. I guess now would be a good time in the episode for me to go over what False Swipe does. False Swipe is a 40 base power normal type move that will never knock out an opponent, which makes it incredibly good for SOS battles like this, where you can just keep using it without knocking them out, so you're doing 0 damage. So it's a good way to waste a turn while they call for help until they eventually call what you're actually looking for. What I'm looking for, however, is not a Bagon, so this is going to take forever, because it's a 1% chance for Bagon to call what I'm actually looking for. Pichu is evolving. So the Bagon struggled itself to death. Struggle is a move that Pokemon use when they have 0 PP on any of their moves, so they can't do anything, and it causes recoil, so if a Pokemon is at 1 HP when it uses Struggle, it will faint no matter what, which means I need to find another fucking Bagon, and I want to die. But also, Pichu's evolving, so that's good. Pancake evolved into Pikachu. Pikachu is fairly standard as far as middle evolutions go. It is an electric type, obviously. That doesn't change from being Pichu. And its stats are no longer abysmal. You can say that. The only reason I wanted to use a Pikachu, or a Pichu, is because Pichu gets the move Nasty Plot, which increases special attack by 2 stages. This can turn Pikachu into a monster later on in the game, once you're able to get an item called the Light Ball. I believe you can also catch a Pichu or a Pikachu holding a Light Ball, and Pikachu can appear in SOS battles against Pichu. So yeah, I mean, if you want to catch a Pikachu holding a Light Ball, that would be the way to do it. I'm considering maybe doing that off screen, just so I can have that item, but yeah, for now, just know Pikachu is Pichu, but without the abysmal stats. A plan was recently announced to gather many Pikachu and make an electric power plant. Cool. But now I have to find a Bagon again. So, as much as I hate for it to be the case about a main team member, I'm going to be catching it off screen. This could take me like 30 more minutes. This could take me another 6 hours. I don't fucking know. But I'll be back once I have it. Salamence. This is the most overpowered Pokemon you can get in this game. And I mean that for single player. Because you can get this fully evolved pseudo-legendary Pokemon on the first island after completing only 1 trial. You can find this before fighting Hala. Look at it. Look at the stats in the corner. Those are great. Those are fantastic stats. On top of that, because of how long it took for me to find the Salamence, it has 4 perfect IVs. Which means that it has the highest possible potential in 4 stats. On top of that, I was lucky enough to find one that has its hidden ability. Not Intimidate like you see on screen, but Moxie. What Moxie does as an ability is it boosts the attack stat after knocking out any Pokemon, which is completely overpowered on Salamence, especially for single player. This thing is completely overpowered. We are going to have an incredibly easy time with the rest of the game thanks to it. And I just think it's really funny that you can find one of these at level 11 even though you aren't supposed to have one until a Bagon reaches level 50. Anyway, I will now let you go to the pre-recorded outro from before I wasted a bunch of time, caught 2 shiny Spearows and a Salamence. So, thank you for watching. See you guys next time. I just remembered I have to turn battle animations back on. With that, we've done everything I wanted to do around the different routes of Alola. So next time on Pokemon Sun and Moon, we are going to be, finally, seeing what else there is to do around Howley City now that we've completed our first Grand Trial. See you guys then.